So, this is Mandy Chapter 17. Yesterday we found that she saw a deer that she named Snow at the little stream drinking, and you were supposed to draw a picture. So today you're going to add more to that picture. If you want to get the picture right now and then add to the picture while I'm reading to you, that's okay too. So you can listen to me read, and then as I read, you can add more stuff to your picture. And this is chapter 17, and it's summertime still. Mandy wanted to borrow some garden shears from Jake. She needed them to cut her box hedges and trim her lawn properly. But she couldn't think how to get the shears without letting Jake know what she really wanted them for. She couldn't tell even a half-truth because he would know immediately that she still had a project, and she was sure that he would mention it to Matron. Then she'd be in trouble again. She still had problems getting away to the cottage each day. It was becoming more and more difficult to find excuses. She longed for just one complete day to herself, a day that could be free from worries and guilt and conscience. It seemed unlikely that she would ever get it. Meanwhile, there was the problem of the shears. She chatted with Jake one day about the garden and his plants, and in a nonchalant way, which means kind of like around the way, she didn't come right out and ask, she got around to mentioning the tools he used. Jake, your hedges are so nice, all neat and tidy. How do you keep them like that? I use my big shears. Now, Mandy, you've seen me use them. Oh, yes, Mandy said. Oh, aren't they heavy? Yup. Jake was not in a talkative mood. Could I manage them? Mandy asked. I wouldn't let you. Well, why not? Because they're sharp, and they're my best, and they're not for the likes of little girls like you. But I could hold them, couldn't I? I mean, if you wanted to let me try them, I could manage them, couldn't I? You could, Mandy smiled. But I wouldn't, Jake added. So keep your thieving eyes off, young lady. And he grinned at her, and that was that. Now, I wonder, why did Jake say she had thieving eyes? Does Jake know she was the one who took all those things? Mandy wished very much that she hadn't brought up the subject. Now she was really stumped. She couldn't think of a single way to get around the problem. She let it go for a while and just sulked every time she looked at her untidy hedges and her ragged lawn. She couldn't face the agony of using the scissors again. Too many blisters that way and too much time spent on the job. And anyway, scissors would be no good on the box hedges. She was determined to get those shears somehow. And very suddenly a way presented itself. Every August during the bank holiday weekend, Matron Briddy took all the orphanage children on a day trip to the sea. It was always a wonderfully exciting time and tremendous fun. The children looked forward to it every year. A coach was hired especially for the event. This year, however, for the first time in her young life, Mandy had no desire to go on the field trip. She was far too preoccupied and involved with the cottage. She suddenly realized that if she could avoid the annual outing, she would have one entire day all to herself, which was exactly what she had been yearning for. And perhaps she could borrow Jake's shears without anyone even knowing that she had touched them. Oh, I'm going to read you another chapter today, I think. Yep, I'm going to read you another chapter. This is chapter 18. On the morning of the field trip, Mandy went down to breakfast with a serious face. She pretended she wasn't hungry, and she hardly ate a thing. Afterwards, she approached Matron Briddy timidly. Matron, I'm afraid I don't feel too well. What? Matron seemed distracted. She was trying to gather all the children together for the outing. They were very excited, and the noise was deafening. I said I felt rather queasy, a bit trembly. I'm afraid I might be sick. Oh, Mandy! Matron gave Mandy a long, hard look. Do you have a fever? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Matron put her hand on Mandy's brow. No, you're as cool as can be. You'll be all right. A day at the sea is just what you need. The fresh air will do you good. Mandy began to feel desperate. Oh, but I honestly don't feel like a whole big day. Couldn't I just stay here and rest? I really do feel very odd. She was by now so nervous and tense that she did indeed feel very odd. It was easy to be convincing. Beads of perspiration stood out on her brow, and she swayed a little. So it means she started to sweat. Matron hesitated. If I could just lie down for a while, I think I'd feel better. I could sunbathe in the garden later. Oh, well, you'll have to stay here with Ellie. There's no one else around. It's really maddening that this should happen today. The distracted woman moved off to find Ellie, and Mandy ran up to her room. She wanted to get away in case Matron suddenly changed her mind. Though she felt guilty, Mandy was filled with a tremendous sense of relief. She so desperately needed a little peace and time to herself, and she quite contentedly lay on the bed in no hurry to make a move. Today was a day to be savored. She listened to the children noisily departing below. She heard the big bus start up and accelerate away down the road. Suddenly, everything was quiet. Mandy felt that even if she didn't go to the cottage today, she was still justified in wanting to stay home. The quiet alone was worth it. Ellie came in to see how she was. Are you feeling a little better? Oh, yes. Really, I just was feeling a bit wobbly and sick. I'm much stronger already. Did you eat any breakfast? No. Well, it could be that you're hungry. Would you like me to get something for you? Oh, Ellie, that would be lovely. Shall I come down and help? No, you stay here. I'll bring it up. How about bacon and eggs? Mandy beamed and felt warm all over. She snuggled back in the covers and relaxed. Already this was the most wonderful day. Never had she been so spoiled. She actually fell asleep for the half hour and was surprised when Ellie came back with a tray. She ate steaming hot scrambled eggs and bacon and drank a cup of warm, sugary tea. Ellie sat on the bed and watched her. That's what you needed. You'll be all right now. Oh, yes, thank you. I feel really fine. I think I could get up, actually. Good. What would you like to do? Well, I think I'll play in the garden for a while. What about you? Mandy looked at Ellie and then smiled because Ellie was blushing. Oh, I know. I bet Ron's coming over. Ellie nodded. Ron was her boyfriend. He worked for the local cabinet makers, and he planned to marry Ellie as soon as he had saved enough money. Well, don't worry about me, Mandy said. There's plenty for me to do. I feel just marvelous now, so you have a nice day with Ron. She helped Ellie carry the tray downstairs. She dried the dishes while Ellie washed them. It was glorious outdoors. It would be lovely at the seaside. Mandy hoped that all the children were having a good time. She went into the garden and ran to Jake's potting shed. He too had the day off. She went inside and carefully took down the big clipping shears. They made a sharp, slippery sound as she scissored the air. Ooh, I'll have to be careful with these. Mandy hid them in the orchard and ran back to find Ellie, who was sitting in the big kitchen with Ron. It's so lovely. I think I'll go for a walk. Hi, Ron. Ellie, okay? Don't be long, Mandy. I won't. I'll be back to check in with you. So, today what I want you to do is I want to do another prediction this week because this is a really good week for predictions in the book. I want you to make a prediction about what you think is going to happen at the cottage with Mandy. I want you to make really like two predictions. The first one, I want you to say, I think Mandy will get caught or not get caught. I think Mandy will get caught. You think she's going to get caught at the cottage? Tell me yes or no. And then the other thing I want you to finish, and I want you to kind of finish this sentence and then make a prediction, is say, Mandy will do, and then whatever it is she's going to do with the shears. The shears are like really big scissors. They're for use in the garden. They're really big scissors. So with the shears. So what do you think Mandy's going to do with the shears? So kind of two predictions. One is, do you think Mandy's going to get caught today? And two, what do you think Mandy's going to do with those they're really big scissors? They're so big. The scissors are so big that you have to hold them with two hands to get them to cut. So one handle, the other handle, and you do it like this to get them to cut because they're so big. So that's chapter 17 and 18. And tomorrow, we're going to do 19 and 20, and that is going to be the end of summer. You have a great day.